So, Borderlands. I love Borderlands. Borderlands 2. Yes, that is objectively the best one. I urge you to try to argue it isn't. I played Borderlands back in the day with my brother on the Xbox 360. What a time it was. We grinded the game until there was literally nothing to do and replayed it sometimes. Truly a time where we didn't have much else to do and it was a lot of fun. A very good game. I actually haven't played Borderlands 2 on the PC, but I do have it. I just haven't felt like playing it. That's a note here only though, because in the grand scheme of things, Borderlands seems like a downward spiral since pre-sequel, and yes, I've heard both arguments of Borderlands 3 and pre-sequel, different games that suffer in different ways with opposite ends. Pre-sequel suffers from a gameplay standpoint, Borderlands 3 suffers from a story standpoint. Most Borderlands players are already aware of this though, so let's get into the meat and potatoes and discuss why you shouldn't buy Borderlands 4. Unfortunately, this will be less like a discussion in this video and me just telling you why you shouldn't support it. So with that in mind, I want you to look at this picture and look real closely and just ask yourself, do you see anything to be interested in at all? To me, it seems like all these vault hunters are a little generic and they look ugly to boot. You know, not that Borderlands has always had attractive characters, but they typically still look good. These look okay, but not nearly the quality of vault hunters from Borderlands 1 or 2 in my opinion. That said, if you like any of these, not that there's anything wrong with that. But have you considered the possibility that there just might be something wrong with you? The trailer does make the game look nice, I'll say that. The gameplay looks decent, but that's all I can really say. Not that the game will be terrible, but it has a lot of expectations to live up to, and Randy Pitchford, not only CEO of Gearbox Software, but also one of the devs at Gearbox, he's making it seem terrible because he said this about Borderlands 4. Now, I'm gonna do this with context, so this is in reply to Jimmy J. Coiner. They said, Randy, this game better not be $80. Gamers aren't gonna pay that and feed this notion of price increase. And Randy said, not my call, and if you're a real fan, you'll pay $80. Everyone disliked that. Fratanga posting an image saying this guy's full of crap and is shouting it. By the way, PS3 starting price was way too high at around $600, which is fucking awful. Jimmy J. Coiner then says in reply, I've played Borderlands since 2009, bought every DLC, everything since 2009. Real fan? Fuck off, Randy. Since Potato says, dog, we are not paying $80 for a Borderlands game, knowing fully that you'll do multiple season passes that cost another $100, and you'll probably sell weapon skins too. Visceral says, that has to be one of the worst CEO replies from recent memory. Mighty Keef says, implying people aren't real fans if they don't fork over $80 for a game sounds like ready user logic. Come on, man. And with all these replies saying that Randy can fuck off, I think that sums up just how every one of the Borderlands fans feel about Borderlands 4. Now, it's ridiculous to say Borderlands 4 is a shit game because of this, but the expectation of a terrible experience is definitely in the air, and it's fair to say that you shouldn't buy Borderlands 4 when it comes out, especially because of this absolute debauchery of Randy Pitchford. So then he made an apology for a misunderstanding. That's interesting. My guy, you said if people don't pay $80, they aren't a real fan. Where the fuck is the misunderstanding here? And he goes on to say, the absolute sincere truth is that I don't want anyone to pay more than they should or are comfortable with. To which I say, Randy, you are a fucking liar. And it's quite clear that this is the case. I mean, how in the fuck is that the absolute truth when you literally said, if you're a real fan, you'll pay $80? Continuing on, he says that the actual context is a guy was warning me about the price being $80 means the game will fail. I was just explaining that it's not my call, but if it does increase, that's because that's the way the industry is going, and it will be okay, because it's a great game, guys. And let's just stop you there, because that's just fucking not true, Randy. The actual context is, he said it better not be $80 because we aren't going to feed this notion of price increase, and what that means is we aren't going to pay that for your more than likely over fucking priced game. This guy is not worried for you. He cares about Borderlands, but won't pay for an overpriced game, which makes sense. But stop with the bullshit, Randy. This isn't some fucking misunderstanding. It's completely understood, and you trying to act like you don't is disingenuous as fuck. For our real fans who may be cost sensitive, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is free this week. Darth Nox then saying, so you think making backhanded comments towards your consumers about them being cost sensitive is the plan? What the fuck happened to you? Randy replying with, backhanded? Randy, stop fucking around the bush. You know what you said. What you said was definitely backhanded, and it doesn't fucking matter what else you said here because it's completely fucking irrelevant. How many times are you going to change the subject when someone criticizes what you say? How many times are you going to change narrative, Randy? Tasty Thumbs going on to say, dude, you need to shut up already. No reason any game should be $80 $80, especially if it's like Borderlands 3 or that shit-ass excuse of a movie. To which Randy replied and said, "I'm afraid the industry is moving in that direction," acting like he has no control over it, despite the fact he's the fucking CEO of Gearbox, which clearly gives him some fucking influence over the price of this game. Stop making excuses, Randy. Stop changing subject. Stop changing narrative. You literally cannot tell me that you or anyone is okay with this mistreatment, blatant disrespect, and is even calling you guys who love Borderlands stupid. And if you are buying this game, then you are doing exactly as he says you are. So respect yourself and buy this game if it turns out to be good on sale or something, but do not fucking pay $80 for it. What's even worse is, in these events where Randy's been saying all this stupid shit, recently Take-Two decided to change their EULA to basically make every one of their games spyware, or rather it seems this way for Borderlands games, but I'm not sure of the others. Regardless, that is a problem. Here's a look at all the data they collect on you. Your name, username, gamertag, addresses, and IDs, your age and gender, your purchases, usage history, and preferences, payment and shipping details, what you browse and play, details about the device you use, inferences on you to target advertisements to you, your account photos, avatars, audio and gameplay recordings, your location and account credentials, and communications content like chat, etc. And every one of the games got review bombed because of this, and rightfully so, I'd say, because while sure we're always giving away our data, it's absolutely and utterly ridiculous that a video game can or would even fucking dare to breach it to this degree. And I was actually looking forward to installing and playing Borderlands 2 with some of my friends, but I guess I'm just not fucking doing that now because these retards decided they needed to now add this anti-cheat and all of these dumbass conditions to a game that doesn't even fucking have a real player versus player. So really kinda stupid, Take-Two. Methinks you made a big fucking boo-boo mistake there, guys. So then a developer released a statement trying to rinse the flames by saying Take-Two doesn't use spyware, saying just because it says they can collect their data doesn't mean they do. Google fucking gaga. Which is so disingenuous because this developer is lying. Any data they can collect, they will collect because that's what all of these companies do. Why the fuck would Take-Two, the taker of dicks, not take that? What a fucking joke, Gearbox. You're only defending Take-Two, which is a stupid thing to do here. Nonetheless, we all get why you did, but that's not stopping shit. It stops nothing.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Then Randy also made a few other tweets about Borderlands 4 and made a collection for the game that doesn't include the fucking game for the price of $150 fucking dollaroos. Guys, I'm Randy Pitchford and you should buy my Premium Ultramax Gamer Dad Overdrive exclusive Borderlands bundle that doesn't contain the fucking game. Actually, I'm not sorry because fuck you, Randy, you big old corpo schmuck. I hope Borderlands 4 gets what it deserves, which is a massive boycott, and Randy, that you received the shit you rightfully deserve for doing all this dumb shit. Here's some more comments on his post. Tebow says, Borderlands 4 bundle, $150, doesn't include Borderlands 4.
So that was a fucking lie.
Soul says, Borderlands 4 Collector's Edition that doesn't actually contain Borderlands 4? Make it make sense. Gamer Geek says, get the fuck out of here with crap like this. Young Dagger says, game sold separately. While we're at it, if you think I'm fucking done, I am not done. Because you have another nail that I need to hit into your coffin here. I'm so stoked that Borderlands 4 is actually 70 instead of 80. I'm so stoked, blah 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 blah. Motherfucker, let's get this straight. You changed the price to 70? Are we serious? Like, that stops anything because this game is probably not even worth $70. Let's be honest with ourselves here. This game is probably not even worth 60. It'd be probably worth 50 because looking at the graphics based on, you know, all that I've seen here, I can definitely say that that is not worth $80, my guy. Not even close. Here's some more replies to this idiot Randy. Epic NNG says, they got his ass like this right now. Seth Constantine says, so stoked for the hardcore fans to get the collector's edition for $150 and it doesn't include the game. Rocky Mountain King says, still not worth it. Lone Wolf says, fuck you and your game, you clown. Relic says, I wonder how many outside the US are stoked for the higher pricing. Which, yeah, that pricing sucks. So when everyone's against you, Randy, is when you backpedal, but let's be clear here. You only backpedaled $10, so it's even crazier. Do you remember what you said about the fucking price not being your call and then suddenly the fucking game is now 70? Yeah, you have no influence at all. You fucking lying corpo schmuck. You deserve no respect, and trust me when I say that no one gives a flying fucker doodle about the DLC you have planned because any one of us voting with our wallet ain't paying your ass a single fucking cent. So anyways, to review, if you literally have any self-respect, do not buy this game for now. Wait for it to go on sale, respect yourself, vote with your wallets, also do to not install the games if you value your privacy. Any of them. Any Take-Two game. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. It felt good to finally get that off my chest, and you make sure if you liked this video to like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment what you think on all this. See you in the next one.